Hey everyone, Scott here with a thrift store Bible review. This is the Comparative Study Bible, published by Zondervan in 1984, and it's a parallel Bible containing 4 different translations that you see listed at the bottom there. And those are the NIV 1984, NASB 1977, Amplified Bible 1965, and the King James Version. And this is something I feel like it's not as common anymore, although some are still being printed. I don't know about this specific one, but others. But before you had computers and Bible apps on your cell phone, if you wanted to see several translations in parallel, this was how you did it. And it's a monster. It's big. It weighs about 5 pounds. It's about 2¼ inches thick. And yeah, I mean, that's just expected because there's 4 translations of the Bible there. And for comparison, if you're familiar with the ESV Study Bible, it's pretty big. You see, it's about as thick and tall as an ESV Study Bible, just a little bit wider going across here. So it's a big Bible. Let's go ahead and open it up, and you can see, this is basically it. It's the text of those 4 translations. It's the Protestant canon, so 66 books. Translation notes are at the bottom, if there are any, and it's each one is in a single column. So from left to right, King James, Amplified, NASB, and then the NIV. I picked this up for $4 at a thrift store. I'll zoom in just a little bit on it. Whoops, too much. There we go. And it was something I was kind of interested in checking out, but I didn't want to spend, I think, like $30–40 around there for a new one. So I saw this for $4. I figured, why not? It's in a little bit of rough condition, but it's usable. And I've had it for a while now, and I've used it, and I honestly haven't found it that useful, and in the end just decided it's not for me. And I thought I'd talk about why. I think, the first thing is just the size. It's just big, it's heavy, it's large, it's not convenient. Tying in with that, in order for it not to be any larger or heavier than it is, you have to keep the font size down. So that's maybe a 8-point font. So it's not the most enjoyable to read, although I can read it fine. But as I get older, I'm sure that'll be more of a challenge. So yeah, it's just not real convenient. It's not the Bible you want to take when you're going to go sit on the couch or bring to church service on Sunday morning. I'm sure somebody out there does, but I think most of us would agree this is not really the Bible that we'd want to choose for that. But those things I can live with, and it would be a fine Bible to use as a reference and keep at my desk. But the things that really, I think, keep me from enjoying it and finding it useful are the fixed nature of it. And what I mean by that, as I kind of stumble over my words, is I can't change anything about the way it's laid out or what translations are included, like I can with a Bible app or like a website like Bible Gateway on my computer. It's these 4 translations in this order, and that's it. And the thing that really sticks out for me is the Amplified Bible. I don't use it, and I'm not really interested in it. It's unique, and I'm not going to get into what exactly makes it unique. I'm not that familiar with it. Somebody else would do a better job of explaining it, but it's not a translation I'm really interested in using. So right away, there's a quarter of this Bible that I just will never really use. The other 3 translations are all ones that I'm interested in. But, now the other issue is, and of course, this is a great example. Let's say I want to read the King James. I don't read the King James a lot. I know someone out there is judging me right now for saying that, but I don't. I'd be interested in using it more. And, it might be nice to compare it with a version that's a little interpretive, but, not too much like the NIV. It's kind of in between the interpretive and literal spectrum of Bible translations. But it's all the way over here. King James is all the way over here. So, when I'm reading this and I'm seeing, okay, praise waiteth for thee, O God, in Zion, and unto thee shall the vow be performed. My eyes have to track all the way over here to see, praise awaits you, O God, in Zion, to you our vows will be fulfilled. That's not real convenient. It would be nice if the NIV was over here where the Amplified is. And, that's a case where I think a parallel Bible with just two translations is very nice, and I know those are common, and I think that would be a nice way to read through the King James. But this big Bible with four translations, it's just not convenient in that way, because it's fixed. And I'd just rather pull out my phone or a computer, choose which translations I want, and do it that way. Or honestly, even just have two Bibles open and go back and forth, which I do sometimes. I've been doing that recently. I sometimes will read the NLT Study Bible, and if you're familiar with the NLT, it's a bit more towards the paraphrase end of the spectrum. I like to keep another Bible. Sometimes I use the NASB for that, to have something to refer to if something strikes me a little odd and I want to read it in a more literal translation. So, yeah, for me, this just isn't really something I'm going to use, and I'm having trouble grabbing it because I'm trying to reach around the tripod. There we go. So I actually sold it. It's actually going to someone else, so I hope it's going to be a blessing to them, and it's going to serve them better maybe than it did me in their study of God's Word. So that's about all I have to say about it. If you have any comments, want to give any of your thoughts or opinions or what your experience has been with parallel study Bibles, especially these big ones like this, I'd love to hear about it. The last thing I want to share, though, before I go, is I love when you get old books and they have some personal effects in them, and this was one of them. It had a lot of stuff in them, which leads me to believe this was a Bible that was used and loved, and that's great, because even though it wasn't for me, somebody else really enjoyed it, and I hope the next person who gets it, like I said, is going to really enjoy it too. But I wanted to share what I found in it because I think it's kind of interesting. So we had a mom bookmark, and that's got a Proverbs 22 verse 1 on it. Here's another bookmark. This has 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8. And the other side had a Happy Holidays message from somebody. I'm not going to show because I don't want to show their name on camera. Got some handwritten notes. This has Psalms 1, chapter 1, verse 19. That's a really old post-it. Oops, and it just fell off camera, and then I bumped the wires. I am still, over time, I'm going to make these videos better. This has a couple Psalms on it, another handwritten note. We have this calendar from 1987, little calendar. And the other side just tells us a little about seeking our salvation and knowing God, or answering His call. That was from Prayer and Tract League, Grand Rapids, Michigan, 1987. And then the last thing that just was amusing to me was an expired coupon for chow mein from 2008. My mom and grandma, they like chow mein. I used to eat it with them. It actually sounds kind of good. I might have to get some soon. But yeah, there you go. A Comparative Study Bible from Zondervan. So if that seems like something you'd be interested in, you find one for like this, like $4, by all means, grab it, because I see them going for $10 plus. I haven't seen a lot going as low as I got this one, but you're in a thrift store library sale, you might find a deal like that. So yeah, anyways, share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And if you'd like to see more reviews of thrift store Bibles, used Bibles, things like that, and whatever else I come up with over time on this channel, be sure to subscribe. And you can also find me on Instagram, Thrift Store Bibles. Thanks for watching.